Hello everyone and welcome back to another speed build. So this speed build is for a build challenge on Twitter done by Ninster. I'll leave the link down below if you guys want to go check it out. You have until the end of Jan to build a lighthouse for this build challenge, and I recommend doing it. It's fun to do build challenges, especially if you don't know what to build anymore in The Sims. Then it's fun to just take that challenge and build something. So originally this was supposed to be like a cyberpunk build, but I decided to change that later on to a brutalist build just because the cyberpunk one wasn't really panning out. So I decided to go with a brutalist take on a brutalist take on a classic lighthouse. So a normal lighthouse that essentially is very gray and big and blocky, essentially made out of concrete. That's, as far as I can understand, that's what Brutalist is, and it's very imposing, supposed to be at least. And what else? What else describes Brutalist architecture? Architecture. I have no idea. Honestly, even though I studied design, I have absolutely no idea. So that's fun. So here I'm just heading on the roof. It has 5 levels. The 5th level is just half walls. It's not really a level per se. It's just like the roof, but with half walls. So that's how I got the 5th level there. What else? I mean, I still don't understand why we can have a 5th level, because considering you can make a 5th level with half walls up there, and essentially make rooms and everything, and with fiddling around with like a foundation on another piece, like what I did with that little spire there, you can actually add a roof to it, so it's not impossible. It's just kind of glitchy. So here I'm just changing up the fencing. I don't want to use an island fencing all the time. So then here I'm just adding in the doors. These do change. Later on, I do use that door for the lighthouse part, but the big brown door that you saw, that big wooden door, is what I actually ended up using for the lighthouse part. It just fit through this airplane, really. Are you done? No? Yes? Thank you. Sorry. So I went with a sort of... I used that big door because it had that sort of big, imposing modern style that is known with brutalism. So I really like that. Anyways, here I'm still on with the cyberpunk theme, so I used this sort of column. There we go. And here's where I start with the brutalism. I add those walls to sort of make the windows less noticeable and make it sort of flat. When in actuality, there's movement and there's design there, which I think is definitely something that I've seen in brutalism, where windows are definitely not present. You don't really see them outright, but they're there a lot of the times. So here I'm changing the architecture to be more brutalism, sticking out structures, and just blocky in general. And then I'm also increasing the size of the sort of little house that's attached to the lighthouse. That's always somehow attached to the lighthouse. I'm guessing that's for the lighthouse caretaker, or maybe, maybe after a while, the lighthouse just got taken up as what is a historical site, and they added that in. But I just use it as a house for the caretaker because it just looked nice, I guess. Also, there were a few problems when it came to the foundation. Like, sometimes when I built a room, it would literally just raise the foundation up. And you'll see that you might have seen it happen a little while ago in the lighthouse structure. I built something and the foundation just went up for no reason. But you'll see it also again in the actual house. that I built. I add the walls for the room and the bathroom, and the foundation just goes up for no reason, none whatsoever. It just goes up. So here I'm just adding in walls, again to sort of give that flat, but also it adds some substance there. But to also hide the windows so that they're not so ever present here, although I do have places where windows are apparent. Sorry about that erratic movement. I tend to do that just to get a feel of the houses and things like that, so... But here I'm just adding a half wall so that I can color them the same sort of gray that I have, although I could have probably just used... Also, here was another problem. For some reason, the stairs wouldn't just fit there right. It was really weird. It was like I wanted to go one up than what the floor actually was. So here I'm just adding in the windows. I do move those windows though to a different part just because I didn't like how it was against the stairs. So I do move them to, I think, just behind the stairs. Yeah, there we go. And the big pipe is still there. I do remove it later on. And first I put a plant there and then a fountain. I think the fountain definitely fit a lot better than the plant. But, hey, and then I'm just raising it up on a foundation because I wanted a big staircase. So I'm just raising up the flooring, making sure everything looks nice. No, excuse me. But I wanted this big, grand staircase, going from street level up to the entrance. And I think that I achieved that. Those lights there I do eventually change out at the end because they for some reason didn't work. Like, no matter what I did, they didn't want to work. So here I do move that back. I think, I move that back by one, and then I add in the foundation that's one step lower, and I do that until we reach the ground floor. So I think that there will be one more. Yeah. I also don't know why the foundation did that, what it did. Like, why it was so high. But I do like the staircase. Like, it does change much, much more from what it is now. But I do really, really like it. Like, and so that is what the final stairs look like. Not that sort of where it goes diagonal. It actually goes back to the straight where it's one side off each side. But I added sort of this leveling structure. And then I put fountains in between, but I couldn't actually change the height of the terrain around the fountains, which sucks. So I eventually replaced them with pools because that looked better and I can actually move the terrain around. That stays as foundation, but the rest of them become that stays a foundation, or that stays a fountain, that first fountain, and then I added that rectangular one. The rest of them become pools just because they allow me to change the terrain more. Here I'm just trying to smooth things out, but I do eventually just move that there and kind of continue on with this sort of levels. What else? I'm just leveling everything out, making sure it looks nice, and I did try to add a fountain here, but obviously with a wall there, it just didn't want to place. So, that was meh. See here I'm leveling everything, and I couldn't get the fountains to level, so they were just stuck out like that, and when I add in the flooring later on, I just thought, no, let's switch it out. I know pools can actually, help with this, so let's switch it out later on. This is the flooring that we go with. I think it's that sort of shiny concrete flooring, which I really, really like. But so here I then go with a sidewalk around it. But as you can see, like the terrain just was a bit much, so I was like, no, let's switch this out for pools because I really wasn't in the mood for that. that sort of sticking out and me having to try to cover it up maybe with tulle and things like that. I just wanted it to be a bit more uniform. For some reason there it wouldn't really fit all that well, but I'm guessing that's because the pool was lower than the actual height of the terrain, but I don't know. So here I'm just moving this across, making it a bit more uniform, and I do sort of add plants here and there. I really like how I add plants because it's very minimalist and feels like it matches the build really, really well. Like the brutalism aspect of it. It fits. It fits really well. I was surprised at how well that fit. So those white sort of lavender flowers is actually debugged from Lifestyle. I really like them. They're a bit big, like footprint-wise, but I did like them. So here I'm just using tulle to move these bushes down. At first I wanted to rotate them, but that wouldn't just work. So here I'm just moving it down using tulle, and the middle bush is actually moved down further because of where it's placed. So there I'm adding in that big door. I wanted a door to the lighthouse, but I was like, no, Mexicans can just get out and around if they want to go to the lighthouse. So here's where I'm adding the walls. So see, that's where the foundation changes. For no reason, none whatsoever. It just changes. And that bothered me immensely. Adding in some sort of smaller windows so that I can have counters there and make them fit a bit more. Adding in foundation. Why did I call it foundation? Platforms. Sorry, I called it a foundation. I don't know why. Where did foundation come from? No, the platforms were really buggy in this build. This is where platform bugs. Another plane. That's a stupid plane. Great. Yeah, we live very close to the airport, so. But this build is where platform bugs became very apparent toward me. I don't know. Now, I tried to add in this light, but I do just eventually use the debug lights from, those debug lights. I don't know, they lit it up pretty well so that I wouldn't have to add in 20 different wall lights just to light up an area, because obviously I can't add ceiling lights. There is no ceiling. It's like supposed to be you can see all the way down. Just changing up the half wall trim, and then just making sure everything looks nice. And then I think I move on here. I do make this bigger just because having it stand being so smaller just didn't fit for me anymore. But I do change up that, and I made it bigger, and I add more windows in now. I couldn't really do the shape that I wanted, that carries out through the rest of the Brutalist build, just because it would have looked weird for where the lights had come from, and could possibly mess with that. So it was just like, nah. And then I also added like a bunch of lights. I don't know, it just added in such nice aesthetic look. I do make that platform smaller. It doesn't stay that big. I think that just became a bit too big. What else? Yeah, here I'm adding in outdoor wall lights. I kind of wanted something, but I used those ones. I think they're from City Living. They just fit the Brutalist style really well. I was surprised that I could find something that fit it really well. But I do forget to add the lights in some parts. So yeah, you'll see some nooks and crannies that don't have lights yet that I do add later on. Oh, this video is really long. My throat hurts. So that's where I'm adding in the plant. I do sort of, the foundation didn't want to work properly. So it just didn't want to work properly. So the plant fell through. But the fountain doesn't when I place the fountain later on. And I just placed a bunch of benches around and plants and artwork and things like that I think really kind of fit that Brutalist style sort of aesthetic. And that was really, really nice. And here I'm just moving around the tool with these plants, but I do have to add them back later on because, see, I tried to recolor the walls and they just vanished, so I had to add them back later on. But see, there I'm trying to change out the plants because I just didn't like this big bush there. I wanted it to be something else, but I do later on just settle for a fountain. Just setting a plant into the main house. I tried to use that big plant from Eco Lifestyle, but that just didn't work. It didn't fall through like the other plant did, so it was just like this big obnoxious thing. I'm using some walleyes just to give some light there, make it stand out a bit more. I'm adding some art here, and I do add it. Where did those paintings come from? Those paintings, City of Living, or Get Famous, I'm not sure. But those paintings have these really nice black and white colors that match very well with Brutalist style. It's like here I'm also adding in those wall fountains. Those ones from City Living. I almost said City Lifestyle. And then I also added in that plant, which I'll move on later on with Tool. So here's the fountain now. At first I tried to do this because I wanted some fountain in the middle of it, but that just didn't work. So I just added in that nice big floor tile thing, and then I added these wall sculptures from Eco Lifestyle. And now we are moving on to the kitchen. So it's just a very plain kitchen. I at first wanted to have the dining table here so that I could have the desk there. But I do move the dining table there, behind that half wall, overlooking the living room, just because, I don't know, I wanted to have a bit more openness and space here, so I didn't want everything to be so cluttered when you walk in. That's also why I didn't really add clutter into this house in some aspects. Like, I might add, the drinks tray from Eco Lifestyle to the living room, but I don't really add clutter, per se. Also, that big wall painting from City Living looks really nice in this build. There is an L-shaped couch that I used with a Moschino sort of couches, and then I add in that big block table from Seasons because it just fits so well. It really did. And you'll notice that I placed two coffee tables over one another. I do use Tool to make that sort of glitching not so apparent. Oh, my throat really hurts, I'm sorry. Then I added in some books and things like that, and stereo as well. In a minute, yeah, there it is. And then, what else? Oh, and then I'm just moving on with the bathroom. Classic 2x2 bathroom, everything here is functional. And I really like the fact that those eco lifestyle sort of things fit in really well. The sink and the toilet. And then we're moving on to the bedroom, which, I used that one and I just moved it back. I really do like this bedroom, and I do actually add another window here. I tried to fit in that bookcase somewhere, I just couldn't fit it in anywhere. I couldn't place it anymore, but I really wanted to use the bookshelf, it just didn't fit in anywhere. So here is where I added in the new desk area. I also make that desk really, really tiny with tools so that I don't have to put anything under there. So I add this window from Eco Lifestyle. It fits in really well. And it adds this light to the room at least. And unfortunately, I do add a mirror to this room. It just doesn't happen on a camera. So, But I'm just adding in a few pieces of clutter, nothing major, just some things that you would find on a desk or something like that. And I'm adding in a place to hang clothes because that made sense. And then just a wall painting. Like I said, the mirror isn't added in the recording, but it is added later on, and you'll see that in the screenshots. Just kind of sucks that I didn't think of that while I was building. So here I'm just using Tool to move it up by 0.001 so that the flickering effect doesn't happen. And then I'm just changing all the lights to white and then moving all these plants down. So that looks really, really nice. And then I just moved that plant down as well. I think that's about it for me, because all I think I'm going to do and the rest of this build is just do the lights for the lighthouse bit and then add fountain pieces as well. But yeah, that's all I do. I'm going to add like the roof and then the lights for the lighthouse. So I think that's about it from me. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Oh yeah. Are we talking about losing control? I'ma show you how we lose control, baby. Watch this. Look, Marty Mark. Watch the way I start up. I've been going hard, but I can go way harder. Every beat I'm on, yeah, you know that I slaughter. And I'm always looking gorgeous, chilling with somebody's daughter. Yeah, she loving me. Say she love the way my chain sit and contemplate. And of course it says my name